Good morning, Western Washington, and happy Friday. I'm Matthew Fab with Western Washington Weather, and today we're going to take a look at the forecast for the first wind event of the season and the atmospheric river that will be sagging south across Western Washington this weekend, bringing the area a lot of rain. So right now we're looking at the satellite here, and you can see this atmospheric river starting to impact parts of Vancouver Island with some clouds moving across Western Washington. This will be sagging south across Western Washington over the next couple of days. So taking a look at the pressure map here, I want to point out this strong low pressure system over northern British Columbia that is moving in over Haida Gwaii right now, but look at the strong pressure gradient that is bringing across Vancouver Island and northwestern Washington. As we go through tonight, that pressure gradient will peak, and it will remain strong all the way through Saturday morning, and that pressure gradient is what brings some strong winds to the area. So taking a look at the North American model here, this is a high-resolution forecast. As we play this through this evening, you can see the wind pick up and peak across the northwest interior there, and then it peaks across the Seattle area early in the morning hours of Saturday. And so let's take a look at what those peak winds will be. From Everett northward there, you can see gusts of 45 to 55 miles an hour, strongest across parts of Whidbey Island and the San Juans, and then New Bellingham there. Likely that we will have some places gusting over 55 miles an hour, probably not hitting 60, but maybe getting close. And then the NAM model does show some nice strong winds across areas from Olympia all the way up through Everett there, with gusts of 40 to 45 miles an hour across parts of the lowlands here. That could be a little bit overdone. That may not happen, but it's definitely in the realm of possibility. This also does include the Kitsap Peninsula, and then the coast also gusting 45 to 55 miles an hour. Strongest there around Westport and Ocean Shores, it looks like. And then you can see just some really strong winds over the northern Olympic Mountains. Hurricane Ridge is living up to its name there. And some really strong winds in the backcountry as well of the Cascades, 50 to 55 miles an hour. Maybe some places hitting 60 miles an hour on the higher peaks. So if you are hiking in the backcountry, you got to be prepared for some there'll be some life-threatening temperatures there with these winds. So this forecast shows winds gusting pretty strong across most of the lowlands, but let's take a look at a different forecast. So this is the high-resolution rapid refresh model. If we let this play through here, it shows peak winds for the same time, basically tonight or this evening for areas from Everett northward, and then overnight for areas from Everett southward. You can see on the coast, we got agreement there with 45 to 55 miles an hour, and then from Everett northward, you can see this forecast also shows gusts of 50 to 55 miles an hour, especially across Whidbey Island and parts of Whatcom County there. This forecast also has been persistently showing gusts of 65 miles an hour over Bellingham Bay, which does not seem feasible for this storm. I mean, there's a small chance that may happen, but I really doubt that we'll be seeing 65 plus mile an hour winds right in that localized area there by Bellingham. Not likely, but 50 to 55 miles an hour, maybe a little bit stronger, is possible in that area. And then you can see this forecast shows a little bit less wind for the Seattle area, having it mainly within a few miles of the water there. You can see SeaTac hitting 37 miles an hour, places like Alki and West Point there. And Discovery Park could be hitting 45 miles an hour, so pretty windy on the Kitsap Peninsula there. Bremerton near 40 miles an hour, and then 40 miles an hour or so for Tacoma and Olympia as well. So the thing to note is that this is the first wind event of the season, so all the leaves are on the trees still, or most of the trees, and that brings a lot more tree damage and potential power outages with any windstorm that moves through before the leaves are off the trees there, and you can see gusting pretty good along the coast there as well. So just be aware for that with the potential power outages and tree damage. You can see wind advisories in effect for the North Coast and from Snohomish County northward to the Canadian border, and including the San Juans, parts of the Admiralty Inlet area, and Whidbey Island. So now taking a look at the atmospheric river, you can see here this is the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. Now take a look at that atmospheric river. By this evening, you can really see it just slamming southwest British Columbia there. That continues all the way through Saturday with that atmospheric river's strongest area directed at southern Vancouver Island and the lower mainland of BC. And then you can see as we go through Saturday night into Sunday, that starts to move south across western Washington before diminishing altogether late Sunday as it weakens going through Oregon there. So taking a look at total precipitation, if we let this go all the way through the end of the day today, you can see only about a quarter inch or so from Seattle northward there. Areas from Seattle to Olympia get barely any rain at all. And then you can see where the atmospheric river is hitting as the Olympics and the North Coast get up to 2 inches of rain, and the same in the North Cascades there. So now let's go to Sunday, so this is early Sunday morning here, so we go all the way through Saturday. And you can see there's a pretty good amount of rainfall from Everett northward there. Bellingham possibly looking at near 2 inches by the time we get to early Sunday morning. And then areas like Mount Vernon and Arlington and Everett looking at 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch. From Seattle southward all the way through Sunday morning, we should only get about a 1/4 inch of rainfall, just showing how localized atmospheric rivers can be based on where they are directed. But take a look at places like the Olympics and the North Cascades. That higher terrain kind of wrings out the atmospheric river and sucks up all the precipitation, looking at 2 to 5 inches by Sunday morning for the Olympics and the Cascades and parts of the North Coast. So now as we go through Sunday, the atmospheric river sags south across western Washington, with rainfall continuing at times into early Tuesday morning there. And you can see the totals that we should have will basically be 1 inch to 1.5 inches from Seattle to Everett. From Everett north to Whidbey Island, there about 1.5 inches to 2 inches. And then from Skagit County north toward Canada, looking at 2 to 3 inches of rain, 2.5 inches for parts of the San Juans and Bellingham. And then from the Canadian border northward, Vancouver, BC is just going to get slammed by this, likely 4 to 5 inches of rain possible across parts of the lower mainland of BC. And then you can see on the coast of Washington as well, 1 to 2 inches from ocean shores southward, and then north of the Grays Harbor there, likely 3+ inches of rain. And look at all these amounts in the Cascades, 4 to 7 inches, although we don't have any flooding concerns really with this because it's so early in the season and the rivers are still quite low, so don't worry about flooding with this event. But one thing that you will notice with this is that temperatures are going to increase pretty dramatically. So these are highs today. This is, we got to back that up. Now we're looking at today. These are Friday's lows, only in the low to mid 50s across the entire region, except the coast is likely going to be in the upper 50s. We go into Saturday and take a look at that. Low to mid 60s there, Seattle northward, and Seattle southward, mid 60s. Some areas near the Cascades could possibly reach the upper 60s, and that is due to the warm air that these atmospheric rivers bring in. Take a look at temperatures in the mountains all the way up into the low 50s, so any of that snow that fell over the last couple days will probably melt this weekend. Then you can see highs in the low 60s on the coast. It's the exact same thing on Sunday. This is another warm day across the region. Highs peaking in the mid-60s from Seattle southward, upper 50s to low 60s from Seattle north and on the coast. And then on Monday and Tuesday there, we plummet back down. Highs drop all the way to the low to mid-50s by Tuesday, so that will be very short-lived as the atmospheric river moves out of the area. And with active weather coming in, thought it would be a good time to promote all the social media that you can follow me on and get weather updates. So the Western Washington Weather Facebook group, the link to this is in the description. And you can see I just post a lot of updates on here about all the different weather that is coming our way. And then my Twitter page, as always, most of you follow me on there. You can get that in the description as well. And then I just started an account on Blue Sky, which is kind of what Twitter used to be like before some of the changes over the last few months. So I'm going to start posting more on there, and I'll link my Blue Sky account in the description below. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, share these videos, and follow me on social media. I'll be posting some updates today with this wind and atmospheric river. And we do have another potential wind system on Sunday that we have to watch that's pretty uncertain right now. So stay tuned for more on that, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.